Let us answer all the recent IELTS Speaking Part 1 topic questions naturally in this video. Welcome to ieltsDragon. My name is Julius and I got a band 9 in the IELTS Speaking exam on my first try. Well, basically, I only took IELTS once. Without further ado, let's start answering the topic questions. First topic is relax or relaxation. What do you do to relax? Well, it depends. If I have ample time to relax, I normally do meditation for 40 minutes or so, or I go running or swimming. However, if I just need to have a quick break from work, I just listen to music or surf the internet. Most of the time, I just hang out at my favorite cafe, sip some good coffee, and listen to music. Or if I don't feel like going out, I just stay at home, lie in bed, and check my social media profiles. Do you think doing sports is a good way to relax? It is for some people, but for some, it's not, since doing so makes them feel exhausted. I think everyone has their own ways to relax. Mine is running, swimming, and listening to music, as I said earlier. I believe so because your stress or tension can be relieved since your body becomes active. Well, according to some health articles that I read, playing sports is one of the best and effective forms of relaxation. Do you think a vacation is a good time for you to relax? Definitely. Who doesn't consider it as the best time to relax? I do think that everyone loves vacations, especially in this generation where a lot of people romanticize overworking. Well, perhaps for those kinds of people, they might not consider vacation as a great time to relax. Yes, I can't imagine my life without a vacation. Well, not just me, but I believe everyone shares my opinion. Vacations are a must to make us relaxed. That's why it's mandatory for every company to provide workers a paid leave of absence so they can have a holiday and recharge their batteries. Do you think students need more relaxing time? Without a doubt, most schools these days require students to do a lot of homework or activities that make them miss doing some things that they are passionate about. Plus, there are parents who are pressuring their children to get straight A's. I really believe that balance is important so students or children can equally enjoy their time studying and playing. In my opinion, that depends on the school's system because not all schools are putting stress on their students' lives, like they really need to study hard, otherwise they'll be kicked out if they have failing marks. Some students are just so relaxed with their studies because their school is not pressuring them. The next topic is about car trip or car travel. Do you like to travel by car? Definitely. It's way more convenient than public transport. I'm more than grateful to have owned a car, especially these days that it's not completely safe to go to crowded places like stations, since the threat of contracting the coronavirus is serious. Yes, I do, because undeniably it provides nothing but convenience. However, I don't have a car, so I'm left with no choice but to take a bus or train every single day. When do you travel by car? Well, every day, when I go to work and when I need to go to the supermarket. As I said, I don't use any modes of public transport, especially these days. Although traveling by car is very convenient, I must say it's incredibly costly to own a car. When my friends invite me to travel somewhere, that's the only time that I can travel by car. However, these days I don't have any opportunity because my friends and I temporarily delay our travel plans due to the travel restrictions caused by the pandemic. Where is the farthest place you have traveled to by car? Let me think. I guess when my family went to the neighboring island of our city. If my memory serves me right, that was 4 years ago. So we had to take our car on the ferry in order to get to the island, and I enjoyed driving around that island because its beauty is just mesmerizing. I suppose when my friends and I traveled to the western part of our state, I don't know how many miles we had traveled then, but we came from the northeast part of our city and it took us almost 6 hours to reach our destination. That was a great trip, but I felt sorry for our driver. Do you like to sit in the front or back when traveling by car? Well, if I'm not the driver, I prefer the back seat because I can rest or sleep. It's impossible for me to sleep when I sit in the front because I feel like it's my obligation to have a chat with the driver so he won't feel drowsy, especially if it's a long hour drive. It depends. If I'm asked to sit in the front, then I won't say no. It's nice to sit in the front, especially if I'm traveling in scenic spots. I'll be able to enjoy the spectacular view completely since there's no obstruction of my eyes. Hi students, I'm sorry for interrupting you, but I just want to say that you can also access all of these sample answers at www.ieltsDragon.com. However, if you're looking for natural sample answers for all the recent cue cards, then you can request a copy of my recent ebook. Well, from me, my ebook is actually a product of my experience as a Band 9 achiever. So, in my ebook, you will not just read the sample stories that I created, but you will also need to interact, which means you have to provide your output. I designed this ebook this way because I wanted you to develop your logical thinking skills and creativity in storytelling, which can definitely help you speak more naturally. So if you're interested, just send me an email. Anyway, let's continue our lesson. Let's talk about primary school. What did you like the most when you were in primary school? Well, I enjoyed everything about my primary school. I loved my classmates, my teachers, my classes, my school, and most especially the time when my friends and I spent time at the playground. I really had lovely memories of my primary school days, and I really treasure them. Wow, so many years have passed since I went to primary school. Anyway, attending the physical education class was my favorite. I was more into sports activities since I wasn't an academically inclined student. I will be very happy if you can support my work. If you want to support me, just give me a like or subscribe to this channel. I'll be providing you video lessons about IELTS speaking that can definitely help you. Thank you so much. How did you go to your primary school? More often than not, I just went to school on foot since the school was just a stone's throw away from our house. The distance was just too convenient that I had a lot of instances where I went to school late. I went there by bus, especially when both of my parents were so busy that they couldn't take me to school by car. But honestly, I did enjoy going to school by bus at a very young age since I learned how to be independent, which made me street smart. How do you like your primary school? Well, as I said earlier, I love everything about my primary school. That's where I started to acquire education and, more importantly, gained friends that eventually became my lifetime friends. My school was actually a sectarian school, so I learned a particular religious belief that I adhered to. That school helped me mold my personality thanks to the doctrine that our teachers taught us. That's actually the most wonderful thing that I love about my school. What did you do in your leisure time in your primary school? As I was a hyperactive child, I was running around the school's playground with my friends during our break time or before we went home. I spent time sliding, swinging, climbing on the monkey bars, playing tug of war, and the like. Remembering those passing days at this very moment is really bittersweet. Well, like what normal kids do, playing. I played some sports with my friends or played hide and seek or just spent time enjoying the playground in our school. It was lovely actually because I made some good friends who weren't my classmates. Let's talk about advertisement. What kind of advertisements do you watch? I watch all sorts of advertisements. I mean, I don't have any choice but to watch whatever ads that appear on TV. However, when it comes to ads on social media, I'm selective on what ads I'm fine watching. The good thing is that I can skip some ads, but if I'm watching a channel of my favorite YouTubers, I never skip ads as I want them to make money from their hard work. As I'm more into gadgets, most of the time I enjoy watching commercials that are tech related because I want to be updated with the latest products from my favorite tech companies. Though I also enjoy watching commercials on beauty products, I can say that I don't watch those ads as often as gadget related ads. Where can you see advertisements? Advertisements are undeniably everywhere. We all can see them on TV, newspaper, online, billboards, and hear them on the radio and podcast. The advertising industry is a gargantuan money making industry. As a result, they appear everywhere. Well, most of the time on TV, online, streets, and malls. I believe they're part of everyone's life. Everyone sees ads at home and outside. Wherever we go, we see ads at any time of the day, and that makes me believe they're seriously part of our existence. Have you ever bought something because of its advertisement? Definitely, and a lot of times. For some reason, I'm easily convinced with testimonial ads. I don't know, I find those kinds of commercials enticing, intriguing, and credible. My latest purchases were heavily influenced by those types of ads that I watched, and I have no regrets though. Yes, I've done that several times, but I don't easily get convinced by the ads that I watch. I normally check the reviews of the products before making a decision because I really want to make sure to buy something which I believe is of high quality. Do you watch advertisements from beginning to end? Well, if the advertising medium is TV, then I do watch the ads till they finish. However, if they appear on social media platforms, I always have a choice not to watch the entire ad. Like I said earlier, I make a habit to watch ads on my favorite YouTube channels because it's my way of helping the content creators. Never. I don't want to waste my time watching those ads. Though I normally watch a portion of an ad, I never want to watch the entire ad, especially if the duration is a minute or two. I can't tolerate watching ads for no more than 10 seconds. Let's talk about special costume. Do you like to wear special costumes? Yes, I do, but of course not on ordinary days. It would be silly if I wore a special costume without any occasion or event. I usually wear a costume during the Halloween season because I attend some Halloween parties. It's the best time to showcase my creativity by wearing a costume. Not at all. I find it bothersome, and that's the reason why I always miss attending Halloween parties or any parties or events that require people to wear some sort of costumes. I don't know, I just don't like the idea of wearing special costumes. Did you try any special costumes when you were young? Definitely, especially in schools. In this country, all schools celebrate the United Nations month every October, and students are required to wear a special costume of a country that represents the country's culture or identity. So when I was a student, I wore several costumes from countries like Japan, China, and some Western countries. That was incredibly fun. Yes, when I was a kid, I was fond of wearing some special costumes like costumes from Disney characters and Marvel superheroes. As you know, children love those stuff. I admit I did enjoy wearing some of those costumes back in the day. However, when I became a teenager, I started to lose interest in any kind of special costume because, like I said, wearing one is just a pain in the neck. When was the last time you wore special costumes? Oh, well, that was before the pandemic. I attended a Hawaiian themed birthday party for my closest friend. I wore a polo with huge floral prints, khaki shorts, and a garland around my neck. I was glad that I really attended that party because after that, the news about the pandemic broke. That was the last social gathering I was able to attend without any worries. That was a long time ago when I celebrated my 10th birthday. I put on a Spider Man costume because at that time I was crazy about Spider Man, like I imagined myself being a superhero after being heavily influenced by reading Marvel comics. Remembering those days now makes me miss my childhood. Do you ever buy special costumes? Rarely. I usually create my own costume if I attend a Halloween party or any event because I want to express my own creativity. However, if I'm under a time constraint, I'm left with no choice but to buy a special costume. It's been more than 10 years now since the last time I wore a special costume. So I can say that never in my life have I bought a costume. Although I wore some special costumes when I was little, it was my parents' money that was spent on those costumes. I've never had any experience spending my own money on costumes. Let's talk about environmental protection. Would you like to work in a company related to environmental protection? Well, why not? I would love to if there's an opportunity. To be honest, I'm really passionate about protecting the environment. I've joined several environmental organizations that promote environmental awareness to people, especially those who are city dwellers, and I'm loving it so much. Not at all. My educational attainment doesn't fit that kind of company. Practically speaking, I go for a company where I can utilize the degree that I obtained, and more importantly, a company that pays decently. Although I don't have any interest in working in that kind of company, it doesn't mean that I'm indifferent to environmental protection. I do care about the environment. How can we protect the environment? Being ordinary citizens, I believe we can do a lot. First of all, we must strictly abide by environmental laws. We can practice recycling, save electricity as much as we can, avoid wasting water, minimize the use of cars, and many more. These things I've mentioned are the little things that we ordinary citizens can do. However, when everyone is doing all of these things, I'm pretty sure that the current environmental condition will significantly improve. Well, we can do the common ways which our parents or teachers taught us, like recycling and saving energy. But if we are really serious about environmental protection, we need to elect public officials or choose a political party who truly cares about the environment. Or we have to pressure these government leaders to act on providing solutions to the never ending environmental problems. I believe that's more powerful in protecting the environment. Do you think you've done enough to protect the environment? Despite being an active volunteer to several environmental organizations, I'm ashamed to admit that I haven't done enough. I know that I can still do more than what I've done, and because of that, I will continue contributing something that can improve the state of our Mother Earth. It sounds cringy for some, but I already claimed that that's one of my missions in life. I don't think so. Yes, I've been practicing some little ways to protect the environment, but I'm not religiously doing that every single day of my life. However, I'm trying to be more responsible because our planet Earth is undeniably changing. Like the weather has become so unpredictable, so many natural disasters have occurred, icebergs are melting, and the sea level is rising. These things make me think that we're starting to pay the price. Is there education about environmental protection at school? Yes, back when I was a student, we had one curriculum about science and the environment, which taught us the importance of environmental conservation and preservation. To be honest, I found it boring since I didn't have a clear understanding of the value of it. I'm glad that I've exposed myself to certain environmental organizations as it helped me open my mind. I just hope that schools these days realistically teach their students about environmental protection. I believe so because there's a science subject in primary and secondary schools. I'm pretty sure teachers teach their students some environment-related topics as I had them when I was a student. And I must say that was one of the valuable lessons I learned in school. Let's talk about barbecue. Do people in your country like barbecues? Definitely, as that's part of our culture. We have easy access to different barbecue street foods wherever we go. Also, when there's a special gathering in a family, like celebrating a birthday or anniversaries, barbecue is one of the sought after foods, so it's undeniable that barbecuing is one of the ways to prepare food for the visitors. Yes, we love barbecues. We enjoy barbecuing, especially when we go on a picnic at the beach. We normally have brisket, chicken, sausages, corn, and marshmallows. Barbecuing is actually very common during summertime in this country. What kind of food do you like to eat for a barbecue? This may sound weird to you, but since you asked that question, I'd love to share this with you. I love the giblets. In our culture, we enjoy eating those types of barbecue more than anything else. I know some people from other countries think that it's gross, but it's really tasty. I've been eating this type of barbecue since I was little. Like I said earlier, I enjoy eating barbecues such as sausages, marshmallows, beef, chicken, and some vegetables like potatoes, corn, and carrots. Talking about barbecues at this very moment makes my stomach growl as I imagine the savory smell of barbecues. Would you like to have a barbecue with your friends or family? I love doing it with my friends more than my family because it's fun. But I'm not saying that it's not enjoyable doing that with my parents and siblings. I'm happy barbecuing with them. However, when my relatives are around, I abhor doing so because they are nitpicky on the way I barbecue. Plus, they keep asking me lots of personal questions that I really don't want to answer while barbecuing. Both. I mean, I love having a barbecue dinner or party with friends or family. I love the different vibes. Whenever I do that with friends, there's so much laughter and craziness because we talk about our silly experiences in life. As for doing that with my family, I feel like our relationship as a family becomes stronger and we become much closer. Did you have barbecues when you were a child? Well, let me recall. I suppose I didn't experience having a barbecue with my family. I may be wrong, but I don't really remember. Well, I ate lots of barbecues when I was a child, but it wasn't my parents who prepared those barbecues. They just simply bought those somewhere. As far as I remember, I experienced having a barbecue at home using a charcoal grill when I was already a high school student. Of course, I had lovely memories of barbecuing when I was a child. Actually, our house is just a stone's throw away from a white sand beach. So every summer, my parents hosted a barbecue party and invited my aunts, uncles, cousins, and grandparents. Honestly, it was one of the best memories of my childhood that I hold dear. Let's talk about wallet. Do you use a wallet? Yes, I do, but it's not for paper money. It's for my different cards like credit cards, debit cards, rewards cards, and the like. I've been using this card case wallet since last year. You may not know we've become a cashless society here, so this kind of wallet is just what most people are currently using. Of course, I have a breast wallet which I use when I have a business trip. I like using it because both of my checks and banknotes aren't folded. Also, I have a bifold wallet which I always use when I go to the supermarket. Have you ever lost your wallet? Yes, unfortunately. I have lots of experiences where my wallet got lost on a train, in a taxi, and worse when someone pickpocketed me while sightseeing abroad. Well, sadly, I experienced that twice when I had my holidays in different countries. I was careless then, but I have learned a lesson. Not at all. I'm proud to say that I'm very careful with my wallet. Most of the time, I keep it safe. I can't imagine losing my wallet. I think I might not be able to go to sleep if that happens. I always make sure to keep it in a very safe place. Have you ever sent a wallet to someone as a gift? I can't remember gifting a wallet to someone. Maybe I had given a wallet as a gift in the past. I just can't recall. Well, anyway, I think that's a great present to give, especially for men, as it somehow encourages them to save money. I might buy one and give it to my brother as he's going to celebrate his birthday very soon. Yes, I remember I gave my mom a Saint Laurent zip wallet on her 60th birthday. It was actually expensive, but I didn't mind the hefty price tag for that wallet as I was just wanting to give something very special to her, and she did like it. Do most of your friends use a wallet? Definitely. But as I said earlier, we're in a cashless society, so we don't use the traditional wallets. Most of my friends' wallets are the same as mine. We have a card case wallet, and a few of my friends are using a phone case wallet, where its main purpose is for phone protection. However, there is a compartment where they can store their cards as well. I believe so. I think all of us use a wallet, may it be a phone case wallet, bifold wallet, card case wallet, or something like that. We need to have a wallet where we can keep our cards or our money. I don't know anyone who doesn't have one. Let's talk about flowers. What kind of flowers do you know? I don't think I can name everything that I know as they're just numerous. But anyway, let me mention my favorites such as roses, lilies, daffodils, carnations, tulips, and sunflowers. These flowers are what I love the most, and I'm happy to say that I have all of these flowers in my garden. Well, I know lots of flowers like violets, jasmine flowers, azaleas, lavenders, poppies, among others. Although I don't have a green thumb, I make sure to have some flower plants at home to make my house lively. You may wonder if that's really possible. Well, honestly, it is. I just ask my sister to plant flowers in our garden and take care of them since she's naturally good at planting. Are there any flowers that have special meaning in your country? Well, jasmine is our national flower. It symbolizes purity, simplicity, humility, and strength. We also believe that red roses are a symbol of our passionate love for someone, while chrysanthemum symbolizes our deepest sympathy to the bereaved family. I'm pretty sure there are, but I'm not certain about their significant meaning, except for cherry blossoms. They represent a new beginning, a new life, a new adventure, something like that. So that's why every month of April we feel so delighted to see cherry blossoms. They give so much life, and that makes us so inspired. Have you planted any flowers? Yes, I have a flower garden at home. I planted most of them since I was a college student. My interest in planting flowers started when I bought a bouquet of roses for my girlfriend. I realized that the price was incredibly expensive, especially that I was only a student then. I was thinking that I'd better grow my own roses so I didn't need to buy flowers every Valentine's Day. Since then, I've fallen in love with planting many kinds of flowers at home. Yes, I have, several times, but they just died. I believe I don't really have the natural ability to grow plants, but that does not stop me from collecting ornamental plants at home. Thank God, my sister is great at planting, so we have a lovely garden at home. Have you sent flowers to anyone? Of course, I have sent flowers to my mom every year during Mother's Day and her birthday. She loves carnations, so I never miss sending her some during those special days. And to my girlfriend every Valentine's. Somehow it has become my tradition to send flowers to them, and I like it. Yes, in our country, sending flowers to our parents, lovers, and teachers is part of our culture. So every year we make an effort to buy a bouquet of flowers and give them to people who are near and dear to us. But for me, I just pick flowers in our garden and send them to my parents or to my closest friends who celebrate their birthdays. Let's talk about wild animals. Do you like to watch TV programs about wild animals? Without a doubt, as an animal lover, I adore any kinds of programs that feature animals, most especially the wild ones. In fact, I never miss watching National Geographic documentaries because I can learn so much about the wild animals' behavior, habitat, and anything which I didn't learn in school. Honestly, no. I can't stand watching those kinds of programs because I'm scared of wild animals. When I was 12, I watched one documentary about how king cobras hunt their prey, and that was frightening. After watching the documentary, I was paranoid. I felt like there's a snake under my bed or in my wardrobe. Did you learn something about wild animals at school? Absolutely. I think all of us did learn about wild animals in grade school, as every school provides lessons about animals in science class. I remember we had some excursions to a national park where we enjoyed watching crocodiles, monkeys, and different kinds of lizards. Yes, I did, but unfortunately, I don't have vivid memories about our class on wild animals. Perhaps I wasn't fascinated learning those types of animals. Where can you see wild animals? Well, obviously at the zoo. That's the only place where I can see different kinds of wild animals at the moment. One day, I'd love to go on a safari in some African nations and enjoy watching some other wild animals. I think that'll be an awesome experience. Of course, at the zoo and in the African continent, those animal lovers in this country don't need to travel far to see some lions, tigers, elephants, and more since there are so many zoos that keep wild animals in this beautiful country. In which country do you think you can see a lot of wild animals? This is without question some countries in Africa. God gifted them with different unique wild animals. Sadly, there are illegal hunters or poachers who take advantage of it and make money. That I believe should be stopped. Although there are numerous wild animals living in this country, I think there are more wild animals in the African continent. Well, I believe Tanzania has the largest number of wild animals because of its dense forests, but I could be wrong. Now let's talk about the sky and the stars. Do you like to look at the sky? Yes, who doesn't want to? Anyway, I love the autumn sky as it gives me peace of mind. So I never miss going outside during autumn as it's one of the best seasons of the year. Also, one of my dreams is to witness the Aurora Borealis in Norway. I think I can die right after watching it. Definitely. The beauty of the sky should be appreciated as it's one of the best gifts of nature that people can enjoy. Honestly, I feel sorry for some people who are stuck at home playing mobile or computer games and don't make any effort to pause and enjoy the magnificent beauty of the sky. Do you prefer the sky in the morning or at night? I've never spent time looking and appreciating the beauty of the sky these days. But if I were to choose, I would prefer to see the sky during the night as it's magical. I can witness the amazing glimmer of the stars and the endearing and calming view of the moon that reflects on rivers or seas. I can imagine how spectacular it is. I don't think I can choose one over the other. They are incomparable as each has its own beauty to love. I love the clear blue sky during the day and the tranquility of the sky during the night. Is there a good place to look at the sky in the place where you live? Unfortunately not, as I'm living in a metropolis. The sky is always hazy during the day and at night. That is simply because of pollution. There are too many cars and factories that emit carbon dioxide and other gases that pollute the air. As a result, there's nothing beautiful to look at above. I'm living in the suburbs and the air pollution isn't that bad compared to the main city. So, from where I'm living, you can surely see a clear blue sky during the day that can make you feel inspired and witness the twinkling of stars during the night that can make you appreciate nature even more. Do you like to see the stars at night? Absolutely. I find it romantic seeing stars lighting up the sky, especially when the moon is reflected on the river or lake while hearing the noise of crickets. That's what I always feel in my hometown during a full moon. How I wish I could experience that here in the city. Of course, but sadly, that's impossible for us city dwellers. We can never see a beautiful night sky even if the weather is good because obviously, air pollution is prevalent in big cities. Do you want to live on other planets? That's hilarious. But well, if living on other planets becomes a possibility, then I will give it a shot. I think it'll be a very different kind of life living on Mars or on other planets. No, I just can't imagine life living on a different planet. But if that's the last option available to people, especially when the Earth is on the brink of destruction, then I don't have any choice but to embrace the reality of living on a different planet. Let's talk about festivals. How do you celebrate festivals in your country? Most festivals in our country are religious oriented, so we normally offer prayers to our God, thanking Him for the blessings that we receive, and we pray for prosperity and good health. We hold some traditional dance performances as our way of expressing our gratitude. It all depends on what festivals we are celebrating. If it's a religious festival, we go to a solemn place and pray. If it's non religious, like a festival related to our national government or our country, we normally exhibit our culture and traditions by holding some performances like dancing, singing, writing contests, among others. What special activities and food do you have for these festivals? As I said, we hold some dance performances, well, actually, traditional dance, but I don't think I can describe the way we perform this traditional dance because the meaning of it will only be fathomed when it's watched rather than explaining it in words. As for the food we eat during the traditional festivals in our country, we have rice cake, roasted meat, well, basically traditional foods. As I mentioned, if it's religious, we spend our time in a church, kneel down, and say our prayers. Right after that, we light a candle to symbolize our gratitude for the gift of life. With regard to non religious festivals, we just simply express our love of our country through holding some performances, which I mentioned earlier. And for the food, well, of course, traditional foods. What is your favorite festival? Without a doubt, the New Year festival because it's a symbol of a fresh start. Well, this isn't religiously symbolic, contrary to what I mentioned earlier, but this is truly my favorite as I can start refocusing myself on working on achieving my goals. And I normally get so inspired doing some new things. It's such a shame to admit this, but I don't have any. Well, I do celebrate all kinds of festivals in our country and I value them, but I don't consider one as my favorite. I don't know, I just treat all festivals the same way. Again, you can access all of these sample answers at www.ieltsDragon.com. But please do not memorize these sample answers because you will surely mess up. Instead, get ideas and practice. Also, please watch the videos that appear on your screen right now because they can definitely help you. Anyway, thank you for watching. Until next time, have a lovely day. Bye.